Have you got a budget of $700,000 or less? In this video, we're going to be talking about my top 10 suburbs in and around Greater Brisbane that you can buy under $700,000. We're going to be touching on north side suburbs, south side suburbs, and a few westies. So make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel down below. And let's dive into this top 10 suburb list. In no particular order, we're going to start on the southern Bayside, and we're looking at two suburbs in Alexandra Hills and Capalaba. In these areas, you can still buy below $700,000. The current median price point in these areas is around that $730,000. And you go, Luke, how does that even fit into today's budget? But that is the median price point. So that's the average home selling for the average price in these areas, or the most frequent price, I should say. But you can pick up 3-bed, 1-bath homes on good sized blocks for sub $700,000. If you're looking at a 3-bedder on say 600 square meters that needs a bit of work or is even in a nicer condition, you can still get those properties below $700K. Now, the great thing about this area is it's close to the Bayside. So Birkdale, Wellington Point, Redland Bay, Ormiston are all suburbs that are close by, and Alexandra Hills and Capalaba are only about a 10-minute drive away from the Bayside. So at a lower price point, you get access to the Bayside lifestyle, you can get into the market for less than $700K on a good sized block, and you've got that limited land supply. So maybe take a look at those suburbs if you're looking on the southern Bayside. Heading a little bit further south, we're moving into Logan City Council, and there's a couple of options I have on today's list. The 3 suburbs on my radar at the moment are Eagleby, Eden's Landing, and Marsden. Eagleby has great potential for future growth. There's infrastructure going into that area. It's bordered by the Logan River, and the end of the Coomera Connector is proposed to go through that suburb. So for me, Eagleby has that future infrastructure potential, and you can buy houses for around about $500,000 to $600,000 at this point in time. Eden's Landing is a little bit more expensive, sitting in the low to mid 600s. The great thing about Eden's Landing is it was built in the late 1990s and the early 2000s, so typically you're going to find low set brick and tile homes in these areas. The area is quite elevated, and it also has access to a local train line which can take you north to Brisbane City or south to the Gold Coast. I really like Eden's Landing because it has quite a family feel, and the homes are fairly new in the area, so you're going to have lower maintenance. You've also got a little bit of elevation in the suburb and access to the local train line. Now, the third pick for suburbs under $700K on today's list is Marsden. Now, Marsden has been a little bit overlooked, I feel, in recent times. Crestmead has been getting all the love from southern investors, but Marsden is a suburb just a little bit further north, a little bit closer to the CBD, and still affordable. You can buy houses around that $600K, definitely less than $700K at this price point, and you can try and find a larger block. If you could pick up 700 square meters, 800 square meters, even 900 square meters, you can still get these large sized blocks for under $700K. So it might be worth taking a look at Marsden if you're looking in that Crestmead area as well. So we've covered the southern Bayside and headed south to Logan. Now we're going to look at the western corridor, and then we're going to finish with the north side suburbs. 2 suburbs I've picked out west are Oxley and Darra. Now, Oxley is the more expensive of the 2 suburbs. It's a little bit closer to the CBD, it's had more gentrification, and it has more pockets which are more residential rather than industrial. That's been the concern in the past with Oxley and Darra, is how close they are to commercial residences. So take that into account when you're looking at properties in these areas. But if you're looking for a renovator, you can still buy properties sub $700K in these suburbs. For me, the great thing about these areas is they're continuing to gentrify, so there's new cafes going into these areas, there's more affluence and more money coming into these locations, and they're located to nearby suburbs in Jamboree Heights, Cinnamon Park, Graceville. Only 1 or 2 suburbs away, we're seeing median price points of around $1 million mark. So if you can get into the market in either Oxley or Darra, not too close to the commercial real estate and nearby these expensive suburbs, then that's where I see potential to pick up a bargain at a sub $700K price point. Now, these are not going to be easy to find, but there's definitely still potential to pick up properties at that sub $700K price point if you're willing to do the work and manufacture value on these deals. So far, we have covered a total of 7 suburbs, running our way from the Bayside on the southern side of Brisbane down to Logan City Council and out west. And now we're covering the final 3 suburbs on the north side of Brisbane below 700k. Now, my picks here are Bald Hills, Bracken Ridge, and Petrie. The great thing about Bald Hills and Bracken Ridge are they're on the very northern side of Brisbane City Council. They're only a suburb or 2 away from the water as well in Brighton and Sandgate and Shorncliffe. And they also have a train line running north through Bald Hills. So you can still get a property around that 600 to 650k. It's going to be an average home. You know, a 3-bed, 1-bath home will go for about $600,000 in the area, and a 4-bed, 2-bath home you could squeeze in under that 700k price point. The great thing about these 2 suburbs is they're family friendly. So there's lots of families living in these areas, and the homes are continuing to be developed. So people are house proud here in Australia, and what we're seeing on the ground in these suburbs is houses be renovated over time. So those ugly ducklings built in the 80s or the 70s are turning into renovated properties being lifted off the ground or knocked down and rebuilt. And these suburbs are, again, only one away from far more expensive suburbs. You can see on the Bayside that the average properties would be going close to the $1 million mark, and suburbs further south in Zillmere have a price point around that $850. So if you can pick up a property only one suburb further north at around that $600 to $650, and the neighboring suburbs are $800k, $900k, and $1 million, then that's where you could see the ripple effect take place and property values get pushed up over time. Moving over to Petrie, that's a little bit further north on the western side of the train line. Now, one of the good things about Petrie is we've got the University of Southern Queensland there, and there's going to continue to be growth in this area. Now, you need to be wary of the North Brisbane Bruce Highway Western Alternative. I had to read that off the screen because that is a mouthful. But the North Brisbane Bruce Highway Western Alternative is going to be cutting through Petrie in the next few years as they begin that development. Yes, it's going to bring better transport infrastructure and allow people to get further north and south quickly, but you've got to be aware if you're buying in Petrie where this highway alternative might affect your property, and so just take that into account if you're looking on this northern corridor. All in all, Petrie is a little bit of a cheaper price point than Bald Hills and Bracken Ridge because it's that little bit further north, so the average house you could pick up for about 600k. It's becoming more and more difficult to find properties at that sub 700k price point. So in today's video, we've covered that list of 10 suburbs which I think are potentially untapped and still present good value at that sub 700k price point. Which suburb of the 10 do you think is the best value at this point in time? I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. I respond to almost every comment, so let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if there's other suburbs at a sub 700k price point that you think should be on this list. I also run a Brisbane-based buyers agency, so if you're looking for a buyers agent to help you buy in the greater Brisbane market, we cover roughly a 30-kilometre ring around Brisbane CBD. So you can book in a free strategy session at my website at purposeproperty.com.au. Otherwise, if you enjoy this video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel down below, and click this video over here for more things real estate, renovating, and financial freedom. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.